Welcome again to Ancient Tales for today. Well, here we come again. Sounds like my voice is a little ancient today, huh? Well, last time we talked about a faithful foreigner, 很忠心的外国人. Well, we continue the same story today. Today will be chapter 80, an ancient love story. We have a saying in English, all the world loves a lover. Well, today we're going to talk about an ancient love story. So stay by for another interesting episode of Ancient Tales for today.
Story 80, an ancient love story. The ancient tales reflect our lives as human beings. Last time, we saw Ruth moving with Naomi, her mother-in-law, because she wanted to follow the path of right. Now we discover that Ruth also finds love in her new home. Ruth and Naomi are very poor. To find something to eat, Ruth goes to the fields and follows the reapers, collecting the grain they have spilled. Boaz, the owner, sees her and treats her kindly. She bows before him and asks him why he is treating a foreigner so well. Boaz tells her he knows her story, how Ruth has looked after her mother-in-law and left her homeland to live among strangers. He also asks God to reward her for what she has done. The relationship develops as Boaz continues to show Ruth kindness as she picks up the spilled grain in his fields. Naomi encourages Ruth to visit Boaz and to show her loyalty to him. Boaz is pleased with Ruth and promises her that he will do all he can for her. In that culture, if a man died, then a near relative of the man would agree to marry the widow. Boaz explains that there is a man who is a closer relative to her than he is. But if the man refuses, then Boaz promises he will marry her. And that's what happens. Boaz and Ruth marry, and they have a son. Naomi is so delighted, for now she has a grandson to fill the gap left in her life by the death of her two sons. In fact, this son will be the grandfather of the great King David. All from a faithful foreigner and an ancient love story. More than just romantic, this story is based on good values of loyalty and trust, commitment and kindness, an example to all of us of how we should live.
The ancient tales, all of these stories, reflect our lives as human beings. Now, when I say reflect our lives as human beings, 我们都是人，我们都有生活. So these stories reflect our lives, 反映我们人类的生活. Now, the last time, as we mentioned, we saw Ruth moving with her mother-in-law because she wanted to follow the path of right. Remember the story? The mother-in-law lost her husband, and then both daughter-in-laws, foreigners, they lost their husbands. Now, finally she says, I have no husband. This is Naomi. I have no husband. I am going back home. She gives a choice to her daughter-in-laws, and one daughter-in-law stays. One daughter-in-law, Ruth, the faithful foreigner, she said, I will go with you. I want to do what's right. Your God will be my God. Now, as we continue, we discover that Ruth also finds love in her new home. Obviously, she's still marriageable age. 她年龄也不大. So she now is taking care of her mother-in-law, but she also finds love. 找到真正的爱. So with this, we will continue. Now, obviously, we're talking about Ruth and Naomi. They are very poor. When I say poor, you think about it. In those cultures, your income, your security, 安全感, is with your husband. If you have no husband, then pretty good chance that you will be poor. Now, to find something to eat, Ruth goes to the fields to follow the reapers. A reaper is 收割, to reap is 收割. 加一个 er, and you have reapers, 收割者. So she follows the reapers, and what does she do? She collects the grain that is spilled. So, why? In my estimation, it's hard to think about it, picking up one little piece of grain, one at a time. I said, oh my, that's tough. Maybe they spilled more, 掉下更多了。但是一粒一粒好困难，真的是好困难。Now, she's going out into the fields. Now, Boaz, this is the man. He is the owner, 他是主人. He sees her and treats her kindly. 蛮善待她. Okay? He treats her kindly. And she bows before him. 敬个礼. Okay? She bows before him. And she asks this question. Why are you treating me, a foreigner, so well? Why are you doing this? And Boaz tells her, and this is what he said. He says that he knows her story and how Ruth has looked after her mother-in-law and left her homeland to be among strangers. I mean, hey, I know who you are. You don't know me, but I know who you are. You have taken care of Naomi, my relative. You have left your homeland and come here to live with us, strangers. I know who you are. Then he asks God, he said, 求神, okay, to reward her for what she has done. To reward her for what she has done. So, 这个奖赏她，因为她所做的事，所做的事。So, And in fact, we will find out that this will really happen. God will bless Ruth. And the person who will be the blessing will be Boaz. Now, at this point, nothing too great about the relationship. Boaz is just very good. In fact, he tells the people, drop a little bit more grain on the ground, 让多一些掉下来. So, our next line says, he continues to show Ruth kindness. And she picks up the spilled grain in his field. Remember, now, not only is it 掉下来的这个五谷, they are letting more spill, 故意的让它掉下来. So, here is Boaz. He is the owner of the field. He is the big boss. And quietly, he tells the reapers, let a little grain, more grain fall down. Let Ruth pick up more of the grain. And that's exactly what happens. She picks up, she comes home, she says, wow, look at all the grain that I got. And Naomi, being a wise mother-in-law, says, God is blessing you, my dear. Continue. Now we're going to take a break. We're going to take a moment for some light on our path. Stay by. And now for some light on our path. Now we're going to look at a very small book, Amos. Where is Amos?
亚摩斯书，亚摩斯书呢，在小先知书，在但以理书的后边。
Yep, that's true. So here we have Amos and 3:3, very simple. Can two walk together unless they have agreed to do so?
亚摩斯书3章3节，很简单的一句话说道：二人若不同心，岂能同行呢？
Okay, now it's very interesting here. Lena, I have discovered as a teacher and as 老校长, okay, that many young people, they fall in love, but they say, oh, that's okay, I will marry him or her, and I will change her. Okay, can you tell me what's wrong with that?
我想啊，年轻人他们都太有自信了，他们觉得没有关系，这个男人或者这个女人不是很好，但是他跟我结婚以后，我会改变他，太有自信了。其实我想90%以上改变不了，他是这个样子，结了婚之后还是这个样子，很难改变的。
Yeah, and it's very interesting. Ruth is what we call 外邦人，她是外国人的，她的信的神也是很糟糕的。But she, because of her mother-in-law, 她的岳母 she changed.
对，这个是我相信是路德在和波亚斯结婚之前，他已经是改变的很相信上帝，而且是一个很好的儿媳妇，一个太太。
Right. So she didn't have to change her husband. She changed herself.
对。
Or God changed her. Okay, thanks for helping us with a little light on our path. Well, we've come back now to our story. Naomi, the mother-in-law, encourages Ruth to visit Boaz and to show her loyalty to him. Now remember, we're dealing with a different culture a long, long time ago. For some reason, this was the proper way to do it. So you go visit Boaz, the big boss, and show that you are loyal, 很忠诚于他. Okay? Now, already he knows that you're loyal to me. Now you show that you're loyal to him. Now, here's the interesting thing. Boaz is pleased with Ruth. Uh-oh, he's starting to like her. Maybe he doesn't say so to start with, but to like her. Boaz is pleased with Ruth, and he promises that he will do all he can for her. 尽可能为她帮助她. Okay. Now, in that culture, long, long, long time ago, I mean, we're talking about 3,000 years ago. I mean, this is a long time ago. In that culture, if a man had a near relative, if a man died, then a near relative of the man would agree to marry the widow. Sounds strange, doesn't it? We don't even think that way. If somebody dies, a relative doesn't come along and say, I'll marry you. No. But this is 3,000 years ago. 在他们的文化完全不一样. Then they would agree, they would get married. Now, Boaz explains that there is a man who is a closer relative to her than he is. Okay? He explains that there is a closer, 更至近的亲属. Okay? A closer relative than he is. He's a relative. It's true. He's a relative. But he's not the closest relative. Now, he continues and says, but if the man refuses to marry you, then Boaz promises that he will marry Ruth. Well, if you were Ruth, at least you are starting to feel a little bit more comfortable, like what we say in English, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Tunnel is like a 隧道. Okay, and there's light at the end. It may be black, but there's light. There's hope. So she will get married. She just doesn't know who it is. But if the man refuses, which he did, the man did refuse. He said, man, I got too many responsibilities, too many children, whatever. So he said, I can't. You marry her. And that's exactly what happened. He did marry her. Boaz married Ruth. Now, this is an ancient love story. You really need to go to the ancient tales, the Bible, and read the whole story. Most fascinating. Boaz and Ruth marry, and they have a son. Of course, they have a son. And a son is very important in that culture. Many cultures, sons are more important than daughters. Nowadays, things are changing. They're both important. But they have a son. And Naomi, the mother-in-law, is so delighted. Delighted? 高兴. Delighted. For now she has a grandson to fill the gap in her life by the death of her two sons. I mean, hey, she lost her two sons. Both of her sons died. Now her daughter-in-law married again, has a son, and it fills the gap. 这个里面的空虚啊，因为 when somebody dies, you feel like you've lost something. She felt like she lost something. It's a gap, 一个空白，一个空虚。And now this little boy is her hope and her future. And what a future this little boy had. In fact, this son will become the father of the great King David. 哇，这个伟大大卫王。Okay? This little boy will become his 祖父, grandfather. Now this is most fascinating because all from a faithful foreigner and an ancient love story. You know, this is more than just a romantic story. The story is based upon good values, 好的价值观, loyalty, trust, loyalty, 忠诚, trust, 信任, commitment, 承诺, 我献身, and kindness, 善待, 恩慈. And all of this is an example to us of how we should live. 带给我们一个榜样. Now, stay by for some words you need to know. And now for some words you need to know. To begin with, we're going to look at reapers.
Reapers.
OK, 那你看这个是to reap is 收割，那么我们加一个 er， 那到底应该怎么说？
是某一个人，是收割的人。
OK, good. So a reaper is a person who reaps or harvests. Harvest, that means
是
收
获的时候 harvest.
Yeah, 收获。Okay, but harvest can be both
收割者
verb and noun.
对，也可以变成是收割的人，收割者。
Yep. Okay, good. Okay, and we've mentioned it just recently. Mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law. 艾老师，在这一个词上边，我们中国人就很丰富了，对不对？外国人的话，你太太的妈妈就是你的 mother-in-law， 对不对？那中国人就 mother-in-law 的，像我先生的妈妈是我的 mother-in-law， 但是我会叫她婆婆。但是你叫 Mrs. Connie 的妈妈就应该叫岳母。所以中国人这方面很细致分的。
Yeah.
In-law.
Yeah, in-law. Yeah. So, but there are many, many interesting stories about mother-in-laws and jokes.
哦
And so,
对，笑话。
but some of them are true also. Okay, loyalty. We have one here called loyalty.
忠诚
Okay, 忠诚, to be loyal to someone. 忠心于 or 忠诚. Okay, and another one, a simple one, refuse.
拒绝 refuse
Okay, refuse. And then the last one, and I never can figure out why they say this, romantic.
romantic 浪漫
But I don't understand. We don't have time, but I don't understand how the Chinese get 浪漫 out of romantic. As long as you know, that is all we need to know for words you need to know. Well, we come back actually to say goodbye, but let's just take a look at it. An ancient love story with some very good values that we can espouse, that we can take on. Next week, we move in time. Obviously, it's lesson number 81, and we're talk about praying for a son. Sometimes I go to temples, 我去这个庙, and I see people praying for many, many things. Have you ever prayed for a son? Next time, you'll want to join us as we talk about praying for a son. See you then.
That's all for today, and thanks for watching. If you like Ancient Tales for Today, please visit atft.chinesehope.tv. You may also contact us by writing to ancienttalesfortoday@gmail.com. Again, that's ancienttalesfortoday@gmail.com. Tell your friends about Ancient Tales for Today. See you next time.